Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P-Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab, 3 hours in the morning, when I do what I do for you. Oh, I got a nice lesson for you. Them guys back there, this is about them, symbolically and metaphorically. You know how I do. Let's go. There's a message here. I got you. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's always a message in the story about life. I give you life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate it. I hope they're working out for you. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission, you got all right thinkers, know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you know how to answer for yourself, tune in. I can help you with that. Yeah, that's what I do. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers, know thyself. And so by be true. Every now and then, no, all the time. This is about my life, good or bad. Okay, this is gonna be the bad side. Okay. Oh, excuse me. This is the title. Right, thinkers. Let's talk about egoism and pride, or you can flip them. They interchangeable. They both equally as bad. All right, let's get this lesson. We were the father and son duel. All right, egoism and pride. Take your pick. Personally, I prefer pride. The most important obstacle and the biggest obstacle to all spiritual realization is egoism and pride. Them guys ain't going nowhere good. Just want to understand that. They was not good dudes. And an expression of it, all the injunctions refer to the need to eradicate egoism and pride, ignorance, violence, and desires of the heart. And special emphasis is placed on the ego in injunctions 32 and 38. I just gave you the 42 confessions of Maya. The authentic, and I gave you the new one. I'm not even indulging. I ain't even gonna push that new stuff. I have no idea, but that's just me. So I'm gonna give you the old version. Number 32, they call them injunctions. Okay, injunction 32 and 38. These are personal characteristics of yourself that you take emphasis. Maya give you the macro, the big picture of management yourself. But then you make it personal. You micromanage yourself through the philosophy that you learn it from the Maya philosophical concepts. And that's how you better yourself. That's the name of the game. Watch this. Now, Junction 32, it says, I have not multiplied my speech over much. They talking. I'm the baddest thing. My favorite song, my theme song is Jocko, Rhythm Talk. Jocko, where you got? I'm the best in the world. You can bet on that. But I ain't here to put nobody down. But pound for pound, I'm the best around. Is that not ego personified? But that was the young guy. Him too. That's where I got it from. I was a chip off the whole block, and everybody loved it. Everybody thought I was the second coming of this guy. It is what it is. Coming up. Now, that was 32. That means you don't brag about yourself. No, all we did was brag about ourselves. Injunction 32. Let's go over that right quick because this was my personal problem. So I know this one again firsthand. Injunction 32 implies that a personality which is of an outgoing nature, and I'm not outro, I'm introvert, so that was never my character. All right, watch this. But in an exaggerated way. This personality is distracted This personality is distracted and always agitated. Yeah, I had attitude. I had a chip on my shoulder. So all this is playing out to my personality. When I was living it, I had no idea. I'm just going through it. Now I'm gonna find out, dude, this is what, should have known this a long time ago. All right, but watch this. You always agitated and you're looking for something, a fight, something to get into, something to do something to somebody, whatever, to get over, whatever. You always had an agenda, okay? And it was never good, but only for you. Sound familiar? This follows along with Injunction 31. And 31 says, I have not been an eavesdropper. Okay, modern terms, I don't phone, what's that? What they call you? What that? Oh man, god damn it. They phone something. God damn, that word kills me. But when somebody on the phone hustling, getting somebody else's conversation and started somewhere else. I don't do that, but that's what they talking about. Back then, we didn't have phones and everybody knew y'all gonna do it. But the concern, what's this? The concern with events and objects outside of oneself is the main cause of what? Most ego people's distractions in their mind. The thoughts that I had back then, they did lock me up, but it wasn't good, all right? But distractions is the main cause of what? Inability to discover your spiritual self within. I didn't have a clue about spirituality, none of that. I was just wilding, okay? Following after my dude. Egoism, didn't know what that was. We called it conceit. I guess it was ego. We just didn't have a proper term, but we used conceit. Everybody thought he conceited. Oh, it's all about me. That's egoism. I didn't know that then, but man, I didn't give a crap. Okay, I'm good. I know this. I can do that. I do boop, boop, boop. Yeah. So I was ego tripping. Swift flipping, ego tripping. That's what I called it. I'm understanding it now, but that's what I did. And watch this. Egoism is what? Thinking of oneself as the personality, and it is fueled by what? Distracted tendencies of the ignorant mind. He only knew one thing. Get mine. Do me. It's pure pride. Pure pride. Pride. And he's a Leo. So he had pride personified. He wasn't going to change. That's the horoscope. That's his personality. And that's, trust me, I know him. And distractions lead what? To ignorance. You ain't trying to learn nothing. You just going to do you. Trust me. And pride, there you go, and egoism, a.k.a. father and son, go hand in hand with what? Spiritual ignorance. I was just as ignorant as he was. I'm following him. I ain't thought twice about what's going on. Why would we just end up in a prison cell together, okay? But because when one has spiritual knowledge, this one trying to get my young people, what happened? It is clear that all humanity, all creation is in what? An expression of God. You got a whole different mindset. I was ignorant to God. I had an egotistic mindset. Egoistic. All me. I could care less about anybody. That's what freaked me out would do. I ain't never cared about nobody. I'm Bill's son. Ignorance, more ignorance. That's what it is. And it compounds until what? You become enlightened. That's when things change for you. How can knowledge to me? How can there be hatred for what? Or discrimination against any part of God? I ain't have a clue. So it was easy for me. Church people, I thought y'all was a joke. Still do. This is only possible when there is Ignorance and egoism. Ego and pride. Okay? And they too dumb and ignorant to know the difference. Moving on. I wised up. When there is egoism, watch this, there is always a desire for what? More. More. That's the desire of ego. More. Whatever it is, I want more of it. This clown we about to put in office, he a billionaire. And what do he want? More money. Moving on. That's the desire of the ego. Okay? And watch this. Always a desire to what? To promote what one believes, one desires, and exclusions of the desires of others. Put the pin right there. You just told me about my old man and me back in our day when we was doing what we thought was, yeah, okay, drug dealing, simple, I'm moving on. All right, but was God, none of that was even in my vocabulary or in my stratosphere of what I was doing. All of that, 5 years, I'm living, okay, yeah, real. But as soon as them damn doors slammed, as soon as I got in that damn cell, who I call? He didn't rag on me. He didn't mock me. He was there for me. Now, one believes what? That one is correct and above others. I'm it won't happen to me. Slam time. Yep. God, oh Lord, oh, yeah. Oh, really? But that's why God, we know God ain't mad. Why? He'd have been ripping me new ways, all that nonsense you been doing. Now you're calling me. But I can do that within my own mind. That's the difference. All right. But now, what I call conceit. This conceit and arrogance right there is two things that will prevent one from what? Seeing any spiritual reality beyond the confines of one's own concepts and ideas. I couldn't see past what I was doing until they locked me up. Now the future ain't too bright. Thus, everyone has what? Everyone else is wrong. In my mind, everybody's wrong except me. It's me and my dad against the world. He was wrong. Conceit and arrogance are what? Exasperated when it's pushed. When a person, watch this, receives, and this is my downfall right here. When you receive praise from others due to some achievement or degree which they have attained. Everybody just landing on everybody. Yeah. And nobody say, that's against the law. You can go to jail. Not a word. Nobody, not a word. I probably wasn't listening anyway, so it didn't make a difference. They probably knew that I didn't waste my time talking to this guy. I was gone. And in that state of mind of ignorance, egoism, watch this, you cannot handle what? Either praise or censor properly. I would take the ego praise, but if you say anything against me, Scooby-Doo, you gonna get my wrath. You don't want my wrath, so you don't want to censor me. So that was that conceit, that's that ego. If you tell this numbnuts, Captain Chaos, he's wrong, he's gonna Katie Kaboom on you. He's gonna lose it. Okay? And when there is praise, the ego swells. This guy head big as all outdoors right now. It wasn't good enough that he's president the first time. He's back again. Oh, Lord. Remember the Joker? Wait, they get a load of me. Don't worry. But the ego swells. And what? It just drives you to do more of their dumb stuff. And when there is censor, blacklist, watch this. The ego begins, here we go, perfect. This is perfect. The ego will what? Begin to lash out with curses, hatred, and even violence. Sound familiar? When you got an egotistical person and you're not on their side, you're the enemy. You are the enemy. This guy got enemies everywhere. Because nobody listens to this nonsense but those clowns you hang out with. Get back to lesson. I'm sorry, I'll get the law, but it's all about it. Again, this is all for educational purposes. I'm just using him as an example, and this is the perfect time to use him. Hell, I was using him, but I can just flip it to him now. I'm gonna get so emotionally caught up. I was hit there for a minute, boy. I had to pull it together. But the descriptions, all right, given above, we just talked about, are for what? The purpose of education and explaining what? The human predicament of spiritual ignorance. I was spiritually ignorant. I'd be the first to tell you. That guy right there, he ain't spiritually ignorant. That's what we want our young people to look for. Okay, stand on knowledge, books, okay? Reflect on himself, and he sees himself as the Pharaoh in Egypt. I love that picture. That's my favorite spot. That's what I want my young people to think of themselves. Not going back to Africa. Damn that. Just, I want the mentality. I went to Egypt to get the concepts of Maya philosophy and how they lived and the things they did. I ain't wearing a damn bit of Egypt clothes. I'm not doing all that nonsense. I went there for one purpose and I got it. The truth. Moving on. So understand that. Where am I at? I lost my place. Okay. Description. Okay, we up here somewhere. Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. When you are the predicament of spiritual ignorance is running wild. I say ignorance. I didn't think about spiritual, but yeah, we are spiritually ignorant. We don't have a clue. So I'm the bad guy because I'm trying to help you, enlighten you, so you can be your best you. And you look at me, it's got crazy. But moving on. But in this deluded state of mind, which a lot of us are, the mind leads itself, okay, to what? To conflict and unrighteous actions. That's Satanian qualities. Ding, 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 ding. There we go. The ego is leading you to do stuff that's just not good for you. And if you ain't got the wherewithal to know better, you're going to do it. And guess what? You're going to suffer the consequences. That's my point. It can be fun. It can be good. But guess what? It comes with a price. Sorry about that. But that's just the purpose of me putting the passion. I know the price. I paid. You might not want to. Okay? Trust me. And when you have satanic qualities as opposed to Heru qualities, your higher self, your good stuff, righteousness, truth, and peace, that's practicing Maya philosophy. Satanian behavior, the ego, is a deviation from what? The truth. If you're egotistical, you're not trustworthy, you're not honest, you just as far from the truth as east is from west. And this deviation is caused what? By the delusions of their ignorance. They think, or they feel, or they believe what they're doing is right. We knew what we were doing was wrong. We just, okay, until what? It told us, it showed us is wrong by locking us the hell up. A deluded human, we got a bunch of y'all, can, watch this, engage in drug dealing, racism, sexism, murder, violence, arrogance, etc. It go on. Okay, but that's that world. I lived in that world. And all that's what's in that world. Understand that. While a person, now we go, but this is the flip side. A person who has discovered their spiritual essence, aka themselves, cannot harm anyone or anything in thought, word or deed, or any other way. I would be quick to violence. I was quick on the draw when it comes to getting down, so I changed that attitude. Simple. Why? It ain't good. That's all. It served me when I was in that environment. I'm no longer in that environment, so I got to walk around, wish somebody would, humble. And this is why spiritual aspirants, right thinkers, are cautioned to follow the path of righteousness, aka Maya, even while what? While you are in a state of ignorance, because acting in a righteous manner, practicing Maya daily, is what purifies the negative elements. You start to act better, think different. So you start to kill off all that bad thought, all those bad actions that lead to bad thoughts that lead to bad actions. And that's what we try to take care of when you practice Maya. In the mind, which fosters the seeds of ignorance and egoism. Once you unharvest that egoistic plant in the mind, that ignorance concept, you start to put what? good stuff in. Start punching. And what happens when you plant good seeds, you get good results. If you plant bad seeds, you're going to get bad fruit. Simple as that. A bad tree will produce bad fruit. And these elements are the fetters. Hello, that's my favorite word. Meaning you caused them on yourself. You did this. When I'm in that cell, who did this? Me. Who responsible? Me. I had to answer everything in me. So why? Because I was the one who did it. Can't blame nobody. Can't put it. Can't. I'm just nah. Well, I'm following. Nah. Guess what? He another cell over there, so he ain't no better than you. The fetters of our souls and our consequences of our actions of ignorance will always put you in a bad state. We live on fear. We have desires. We are jealous. We're greedy. We're passionate, etc. That's all egoistic, low nature qualities. That's not a good person. Okay? Thus, the project of a spiritual aspirant, right thinkers, who wants to what? Tread the path of Maya, righteousness and virtuous lifestyle, is to work toward what? Cleansing one's fetters. Stop doing the things that you used to do to cause you the problem. That ain't hard to understand. Break it down as simple as I could. Fetters is self-inflicted problems. We call it drama, okay? Now, baby mama drama, baby dad, whatever. Y'all cause it on yourself. Male, female, don't make a difference. But this is accomplished, what? By selfless actions. Doing something for somebody else. Once you start to do that, you start to become spiritually enlightened. Why? Start to realize the goodness that you can do for others. And it's a benefit that come with that. Shh. That's what, if everybody know God would bless them for doing good actions, you think people change and do good? Because that's what it is. That's a simple fact. You ain't got to be religious to know that. Anybody should know that. You got to be religious to know that if you do good things, God will bless you. Simple as that. Well, who punished you? Yeah, God punished you to it. Karma. But your parents, if you do yourself a bad act, they should take care of that. But don't worry. In any action that you do, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Nothing to do with your parent. That's what we need to teach our young so they understand life. Okay. And when you perform a selfless action, as described earlier in this volume, I told you about them, and then attaining spiritual knowledge through what? Daily study of the teachings. How else you going to get it? Once you study it, you implement it, and you practice it daily, and that's how you get better at it. So there is one important factor which is inherent in the precepts of Maya. I'm almost there. That must receive special attention. And what is that? Many times when people are ignorant, egoistic, and arrogant of the greater spiritual realities, and they get caught up in the what? The emotionalities of human life. They tend to look, excuse me, just like I just told you, they tend to look for what? For something or someone to blame for their miseries. I just told you, in that cell, I asked myself those questions, and I had to answer them all in the affirmative. Me. That's taking responsibility. How many times you do that? If you took responsibility, it don't mean nothing other than I'm not doing this again. Simple as that. Moving on. No. Moving on. They want to find, those egotistic people, rather than see it in themselves, they want to find a cause for the troubles of their own life. And the easiest way to do this is to what? To look around to what? Into the world and point at those factors around them which seem to affect them, when in reality, it's them. I took the responsibility over 40 years ago, ain't looked back, haven't changed from doing what I'm doing now. Ain't went back that, no. Okay, so in chapter 125, the use of the word nuk. In the 42 Confessions of Maya, the phrase that says nuk, it means I, is emphasized. Again, when I took responsibility, it was I, me. Same thing, personal. It emphasized with a special connotation, which the spiritual aspirant you says continuously, I have not done these things. Now, if I had that mindset before I started doing that nonsense, I wouldn't be in that prison cell and I wouldn't have to worry about who follows it mine. But Bettering yourself, meaning you take responsibility and you live different. I have not. He or she does not say, you have allowed me, or the devil made me do it. Nope. Or I wanted to, but I couldn't, etc. Excuses won't make it. Simple as that. There is a process of responsibility in all our lives wherein you, the spiritual aspect, right thinker, has to recognize that what he or she has the obligation to act righteously. If what you want, you're going to do. And in so doing, watch this, I just told you, to purify your own heart is to do what? The right thing. I didn't know that then, but I'm fully aware of it now. That's all I taught. That's all I preach. That's all I live. Why? I know it works. I'm going to give you the same advice. All you got to do is try it. Moving on. In spiritual practice, daily can succeed only when you assume what? Total responsibility for everything you do. All your actions. For your actions, your thoughts, your words, your feelings, and your deeds. All those things you're responsible for. And yeah, I did all that the wrong way, and I had to pay for that. When you do it the right way, it's so much different. It's such a world of difference. And if you constantly, watch this, blame your adversities on others, of the situations in your life, etc., what happened? You will be living life according to, you ready? Ignorance and weakness, aka ego and pride. Okay? True spiritual strength only comes from what? Leaning upon what? Your inner self, your true self, within for what? Spiritual support and guidance, as well as being rather than upon external situations, people or objects. You need to focus on you, take care of you, and other things I say like, that's there. But you got to be responsible for you, not other people. Last one, wrapping it up. Again, I appreciate you taking it in. Thus, within the teachings of Maya, right thinking philosophy, can be found what? All of the important injunction. It's a personal reflection, personal look at yourself, reflecting on the things that you are responsible for. Simple. And watch this. For living a life which promotes purity, harmony, sanctity, and more important, balance in one's life. While these may be found in other spiritual traditions, such as religions, they all have some of that in them. I tell you, like the cocaine. There's some truth in religion, but there's a whole lot of cut in there too. That's the difference in religion and Maya philosophy. No cut, pure. That's the difference. And from around the world, watch this, all spiritual traditions around the world pack some of Maya philosophy. Not all of it, but just one that they can use and cover it up with other stuff to suit their needs. Moving on. And seldom is what? The emphasis on nonviolence, which Maya represents, and balance, which Maya represents, to be found. And this thing that you make within yourself. In Christianity, ding, 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 Jesus emphasized what? Nonviolence. And in Buddhism, Buddha emphasized nonviolence. That's the one part they took from Maya. Okay. But these traditions recognize what? The power of nonviolence to heal the anger and hatred within the aggressor, or as well as the victim. And when the spiritual force is developed, it is more formidable than any other physical violence. Therefore, anyone who wishes to promote peace and harmony in the world must begin how? By purifying every bit of negativity. When Martin was talking that nonviolence, he couldn't fight back. They told him, you can't. I don't know if I could have handled that. I was on more on Malcolm's side. I want to be able to crack some skulls if I had to. So, two different views, but nonviolence is the way to go, so they say. And within themselves, again, you had to be controlling wherewithal of what you're going to do, what you want to do. And this, the only way to promote what? Harmony and peace in others. You can't be violent in practice or preach nonviolence. You can't be a criminal and then talk about the criminals. The pot calling kettle black. Moving on. And conversely, what? If there is anger within you, egoism in you, you are indeed now promoting egoism and anger, which is outside of yourself, and your efforts will be successful, will be unsuccessful in the end. If you're not doing what's right, but you gotta say, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. I mean, anything that you're not doing that's righteous, it won't prosper. Not enemy, no, anything in your life. How about that? The wrong thing that you're doing wrong, you won't prosper till you start what? Doing the right thing. Trust Mr. Right. I know now from what, again, experience. That's a lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with more. But right now, right thinkers, in closing, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 minus a day. So I never know my right thinkers passed away. But you know what my aunt say? We don't die, we multiply.